Utah is home to the greatest snow on earth. But for some people, winter as well as Christmas can be a tough time of year. And while a lot of folks tend to focus on giving during the holiday season, we're going to visit the Christmas Box House, where that's something they do year-round.
I decided to write a story for my daughters. Not a kid's book, but something that they'll understand when they're older about the love of a parent for a child. And that book was The Christmas Box. I knew something was very special about the book. I didn't realize how big it was going to be. I didn't realize how many lives it would impact. So the day the Christmas Box hit #2 on the New York Times bestseller list, our world really exploded. I'm receiving phone calls from people offering millions of dollars for the rights to this book, and I'm just in our little home there in Sugar House, Utah. And so Carrie and I, my wife, we talked about, how is this going to impact our lives and how will it impact our children? And we were concerned. And at one point, Carrie actually said, let's just give the money back. And I said, well, hold on a minute. There's something we can do with this. And that's when the first idea came up. Let's start a charity.
The Christmas Box House is a short-term crisis shelter care facility. And it's for when children, because of abuse, neglect, or abandonment, need to be removed from that situation, usually their home, and they stay there, and it's a safe place where they can go to school, they can get medical and dental attention given to them, they can get different resources that they need until a more permanent placement is found for them.
It never ceases to amaze me how difficult some kids' lives are. Imagine a 4-year-old child making a lunch. That's how we found some of these kids, because he was making a lunch every day of potato chips on bread.
These kids are hurting. They are coming from crisis and from experiences that most of us have never had in our life. And when they come into my class, I try to give them hope and the glue to say, you know what, you do have value.
It used to be that when a child had to be removed, sometimes they were in the back of a caseworker's car or in an office as the caseworker tried to find a placement for them in a foster home. And so after Richard asked the system, how can we help? They wanted a safe place for these children to be so they weren't sitting in the back of a car. So that's how the Christmas Box House got started.
There are days that we thought we'll probably lose it all and the thing may not even work. So we've had some tough days with this. It was a bigger commitment than I thought it would be. Looking back, we couldn't have done anything better with the money. So it really was a blessing.
I'm the oldest of 8 brothers, and around the age I was like 14 or so, my parents started getting involved in drugs and criminal activity, and by age 15 they really weren't around that much. They'd kind of leave and be like, oh, we're going to work, and they'd leave for the weekend. But eventually the weekends turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months, and you kind of develop this numbness for what your life is like after so much stuff happens that you don't realize that what you're going through isn't normal. And I'm just glad that my family was fortunate enough to be able to be removed from that situation and go to a place like the Christmas Box House.
During 1 year, there are over 10,000 reports of abuse that are investigated, and at any one time there's usually about 2,800 kids in the foster care system here in Utah. And so probably every neighborhood, every school is going to have some children there that have experienced abuse, neglect, or abandonment.
Imagine if you went to a high school graduation and the principal got up and said, congratulations seniors, you graduated from high school. Now within 2 years, 60% of you will be either homeless, incarcerated, pregnant, or dead. There'd be a huge outcry, obviously. And yet that is exactly the statistics that foster youth face when they leave the system. So we've set out to help that segment of these abused children and to put a safety net underneath them to help them lead happy, productive lives as adults.
I had never received help like that, but these people that were willing to just help these complete strangers out without hesitation was way cool to me.
The difference that can be made in the life of a child who's experienced abuse or neglect is huge. And I think it's really important when a community gets involved, because the state systems and the county systems can't do it all.
What I do know is that Utahns are very generous. We've had thousands of hours of volunteer work. We've had hundreds of Eagle Scouts who have done their projects with us. There's always a way to get involved and help. And sometimes it may be just coming down and reading to the kids. But I tell you, you do it, you'll be changed. You won't be the same after that.
Anywhere that I can look in my family, I was the first one to graduate high school. I was the first one to attend a university, and I'm the first one to have a license of any sort to practice. And personally for me, when times get rough, I think of all the people that helped me, and I feel obligated to succeed in life for them because they were willing to believe in me enough and donate or do anything to help the cause, to help children in need. That helps me strive to reach my goals and be a better person.